Welcome to the Nagual zone. My name is Anaam. I want to read you something. What makes human beings into sorcerers is their capacity to perceive, the word perceive, energy directly as it flows in the universe. Human beings are not only capable of seeing energy directly as it flows in the universe, but they actually do see it, although they are not deliberately conscious of seeing it. This is a deep topic, and I wanted to touch base on it, not so much on the art of seeing, that's way too advanced, but I want to touch on something that will help to bring you closer to a functional experience of that over time. These things, you got to understand, won't take, especially you millennial types, they won't take 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 months, 2 weeks. No, they will take 20, 30 odd years. If you've got the stamina to stick around that long, good job, well done. These are what I tell my apprentices, long cycle knowledge. It's a long cycle knowledge, the art of seeing. Now, stay with me, because it's a very interesting tip I'm going to give you. The problem with seeing, and again, I don't call it seeing, I call it perceiving, because that's a lot more accurate. People start thinking they're going to see some magic with their eyes and some auras and rainbow colors and lines in the universe and some vague shit like that. No, that's not it. So seeing is a whole body experience. It includes all the 5 senses and the senses, especially the senses that we have beyond the 5 senses. The problem with seeing, with attempting to see, especially if you do not have a qualified, trained benefactor, is that the more you try and see, the less you are likely to see, perceive. The less you try and perceive it, the more you are likely to get it. So to this effect, I want you to try something very different, which is how I train my apprentices and how I was trained. I want you to absorb this paradigm and become this paradigm. Not only just think about it as a nice thought or a nice philosophy or some kind of nice meme that you read on Facebook or something. No. I want you to become this paradigm. And what is the paradigm? Leave everything better than you found it. Leave everything better than you found it. Leave everything better than you found it. Now, this may seem like there's no connection between this and seeing, but I can assure you there's a big connection. When you learn, when you become the kind of human being that is habitually and instinctively has become trained to leave everything better than you found it. See, seeing works both ways. I'll come back to this one in a bit. Seeing works both ways. Seeing can be done by shifting our assemblage point, or our assemblage point can be shifted by seeing. Now that seems a little bit like kind of a thing to say for the sake of saying it, but it's kind of true and it's hard to describe it. So what will happen when you become that person who leaves everything better than you found it? And don't kid yourself. You know, if everything in my videos is meant for people who are really brutally self-honest and really can really look inside and stop pretending to be better than we really are and really look at things inside, you know, and really see, okay, that's where I'm really at. So do a very brutal, honest self-assessment and then see, am I the kind of person that leaves things better than I found them? Now here's a test, because we really do genuinely like to pretend we are better than we really are. So here's a test. Do you leave your thoughts better than you found them? That will tell you where you're really at with this paradigm. And if you can start to leave your thoughts better than you found them, everything else will follow. And your life, in your practical living, it will start reflecting that. Do you leave your feelings better than you found them? Do you leave your body each morning better than you found it in each given moment? Do you leave your spirit better than you found it? Do you leave things better than you found them? How this ties in with seeing is everything, as we know, is vibrating energy. We know this, right? We know this because, first of all, white people's priests, modern day priests called scientists, have said it, and if they've said it, it must be true because scientists have said it. Scientists. So you can see how much I respect scientists. To me, the scientists are exactly like the medieval priests of the Catholic Church who would give the population the tiffin box to think in. It's the same thing with these scientists. They give the population the tiffin box to think in. There's no difference. If you had asked 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, someone, whatever their worldview was, they would have said, oh yeah, the priests have told us, so it must be true, right? It's the same thing with the scientists. Nowadays, you will see this rampant everywhere. The science has proved. When it starts like that, as an apprentice, you must be very, very careful. Anything that says science has proved that and goes on with their white people's malarkey, be very careful. It's not for you. Your world is not to be governed by the demands and subscriptions of the foreign installation. A whole different topic. And we'll come back to it one day. So so now we know that everything is vibrating energy. And when everything is vibrating energy in the shaman's world, in the world of sorcery, we start to see that everything also is to a greater or lesser degree of our understanding, of the shaman's understanding, self-aware or self-cognitive at the very least. I don't know if there's an appreciable difference between the two, but meaning that it is aware that it exists at the very least. How much of that awareness you can make friends with, you can understand, because those awarenesses are extremely... You talk about finding aliens on some other planet. Yeah, look around with your inner silence and you will see everything unrecognizable, because when you strip away the inventory of the words, you have a terrifying, mysterious, beautiful, fractal-based world. Incredible, incredible. Beautiful, mystifying, feral, fantastic, precisely designed reality. Once we arrive at that experience that everything seems to be self-aware to a greater or lesser degree to my understanding, just because I don't understand the awareness of a stone doesn't mean the stone isn't self-aware. That's a very stupid kind of thinking, right? So it's just because I don't understand doesn't mean the stone isn't... How do you know the stone is not more intelligent than you? By the way, did you know that the way a stone perceives time, the way a tree perceives time is so vastly different? You couldn't even start to imagine. There's no imagination that could get you linked up with any understanding of that way time passes for a stone. or a piece of land or trees, or there's so many things. What we call stars in the sky and the sun and all these just labels, we don't understand anything about them. The shamans, however, can perceive and arrive at experiential understanding of whatever they wish. It's not a problem. Once we know everything is self-aware, we can now see that everything appreciates one thing. That when I touched them, were they left better than I found them? If we two meet and we both walk away knowing that we have left the other person better than we found them, wouldn't you appreciate that? If I met you and you left me better than you found me, wouldn't I appreciate that? That's the same with literally everything around you. The problem is we are still perceiving our reality in extremely retarded ways, and that is animate, inanimate. Again, just this white lab coats come up with this nonsensical ideas. Animate and inanimate. So inanimate means it's kind of dead, stones, that chair, that table, this window, mirror, glass, metal, plastic, whatever. Inanimate. Therefore, it does not have life. Therefore, I can sort of kind of take it for granted and sort of just have a vague kind of relationship with it. Animate means cute puppies, trees, we should not cut trees, and do not kill the animals, I'm vegan. That's all animate. Compassion for all living creatures and all. But can you see that is all just nonsense, all of it. There's no real seeing behind that. Only the warrior can have the necessary sobriety and pragmatic perception to be able to navigate reality in the way that it deserves. And we come back to this. Learn to leave things better than you found them, and you will start gaining allies. You will eventually become the kind of practitioner who has an army of allies working behind the scenes all the time for you and your benefit. You know why? Because you, when you touched them, left them better than you found them. And they will appreciate that for ever and ever. So wherever you go, start with your thoughts. You want to get your thoughts to go out and work for you. You don't want to have a feral mind that you have no control over. That's not even the beginnings of an apprenticeship. That is just like basic self-help, law of attraction, all these kind of things, right? So start with your mind. Leave your thoughts better than you found them. And just that itself will take you a very long time to train into. Just that one thing. Then look around, be aware, notice things as you go about your daily life. When you wake up, open your eyes, leave your bed better than you found it. Check your body. How can I leave my body better than I'm finding it right now? Do you see how impeccable that will make you? Once impeccability steps in, life all around you will start respecting you in a way that it doesn't quite do the average man. Once life starts respecting you because of your impeccability, you will gain the kind of personal power that you can only dream about right now. Once that personal power is cultivated within you, right? Seeing is only a matter of time. Because you are sowing in fertile soil. You're sowing the seeds of true seeing in fertile soil within you. So do you see the connection, how this one paradigm, I am someone who leaves things better than they found them. Your phone, Leave it better than you found it. Is it always full? No memory left? That's an indication of your head up here. Is your phone hard? Is it hard to work? Gadgets don't work for you? Yeah, there's a problem up here. You take things for granted. You do not respect them, and you do not leave them better than you found them. That is why they don't work for you. Do you know how everything, personally, you can ask people who know me, have known me for years. Everything works for me. Right from my guitars to my phones, my computers, things just constantly love to work for me. And not work for me as a something, but they love to walk with me in my life journey. They really do. And I benefit. I love my things. I love to leave them better than I found them. I dust things properly, keep them clean. Just leave things better than you found them. Start with, and the devil and the blessing is in the details. Yeah? The blessing is in the details. How are you in your daily life? Forget about grand ideas of seeing, and I'm a shaman, and I'm a warrior, and Don Juan, and forget about all that. The very bare, practical life. How do you treat your slippers? How do you treat your underwear? Apart from washing it, hopefully. But do we see? Are we learning to see, perceive things worthy of respect because we have understood that everything in the shaman's world, in the sorcerer's world, in the apprentice's world, in the warrior's world, in the Nagual world is self-aware. And it appreciates one thing. It appreciates being left better than you found it. So think on this, guys. This is not an idle topic, and if you need to, then repeat this video again and again. Watch it again and again till you really start to understand the connections I'm trying to make between seemingly different ideas, but they're not different. They are the same idea. And this is the very, very foundation of Toltec knowledge, the very basic foundation. We don't get this, all the grand things, I'm at the second gate of dreaming, and the fifth organic being has contacted me, and I am this and I am that. None of that will even be available if your spirit isn't being honed and tempered in the fires of these changes that we must make within ourselves. We must become these kind of people. Then the very advanced things, seeing the energy in the universe and all these things will become available. Yeah. So at the moment, I recommend don't get lost in your romantic affiliation with the Toltec path, but really hunker down and really look at the practical side of your living, because those romantic affiliations aren't living life for you. You are living life, your life, right? So that's where the work is. The work isn't in acquiring and more knowledge and wishing to have it come true in your life. The work is here. And this is where I like to stress that the apprentice, the student, concentrate most, focus most, these areas. On that note, leave everything better than you found it, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of this? Are you that kind of person? Would you like to be that kind of person? What are some of the things you can do, start doing to move towards installing that paradigm into your system so that it can start working for you? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Like, hate, dislike, I don't care, whatever. Keep it intelligent. Don't just prove yourself, to be subpar from your comments. Show the world that you're worthy of respect in your comments. With that, I love you all. Thank you for listening so far, and subscribe for for more every week. Bye for now, and I'm out.